My name is Katie Evans. I'm the Managing Editor of International Research at Internet Retailer, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. We'll be talking today about online reviews. Today's discerning online shoppers are increasingly using the opinions of people just like them to form their buying decisions. For online marketers, this comes with challenges, but also some significant opportunities to overshadow the competition if they do things right. And that's part of what we'll be discussing today. Today, we'll be hearing from one online retailer, bookbyte.com, and their marketing analyst, Jesse Liebman. Jesse will discuss the impact of using online reviews on BookByte's e-commerce efforts. He'll be followed by Jonathan Heinz, the product marketing director at Trustpilot, a company that specializes in online reviews and the sponsor of today's webinar. We'll take your questions after they speak. You can ask questions at any time using the text box on your screen. And in the next day or two, you'll all get an email with instructions on how to obtain today's presentation. With that, I'll turn it over to Jesse, marketing analyst at bookbyte.com.
Thanks, Katie. So at BookByte, we were founded by our founder, Steve Gross, back in 1999, very similar to the Amazon.com story. Steve Gross started out of his garage selling books and realized that he had a business in that he could go online, list his books, and be able to help students save money. Ultimately, he ended up turning it into one of the largest textbook dealers on the West Coast. And helping students save money. As a college student myself, I actually was a customer of BookByte's back in the day, and they certainly helped provide, instead of utilizing the bookstores or having to go to Amazon, they were one of the first in order to help students save money in textbooks. Where ultimately our mission is that we're dedicated to improving the lives of students, and we started ultimately selling used textbooks, then we went into buying textbooks back for cash, and then recently initiated a rental program. I certainly wish back when I was going to school that we had a rental program. We could have saved a lot more money there. And our overall company emphasis is on our service and giving back to the community, not only of our students, but also internationally. We do a lot of donations with international groups to give back and help them. So the BookByte marketing machine, there is a total of 6 of us that works on a wide variety of different initiatives. Ultimately, we're targeting students, so we have a very small time frame in terms of our customer base. There's probably a lot of different businesses out there, and ultimately your customer base is a lot longer time frame than 4 years. But really, we have basically from the time of that you're a senior in high school until potentially you're a graduate student. That's really the amount of time that you're going to wind up using BookByte. And so we really have to capitalize quickly and often. We understand, because we're such a cyclical market, that you're going to have in August when you're going to school, that's one of our main times when you're starting to sell your books back and preparing for winter term. That's going to be another time, and so it just goes with each of those seasons. So we do have a little bit of a walk-up in terms of the local students and the local universities being able to utilize our business, but overall we're built on being an e-commerce business. And so as a marketing department, we utilize paid search marketing. We're very big into SEO and our search engine marketing. We have a full team of that, of search engine marketers. We utilize social media, so we're interacting with our customers. We do display and remarketing, and so we're always constantly trying to figure out new and innovative ways in order to help bring BookByte to the forefront for students. Because ultimately, when you've got big players such as Amazon.com that has a much bigger marketing budget than we have, you have to be innovative and you have to figure out different ways in order to differentiate yourself from the customers. BookByte.com, we're ultimately, and this is a little bit different than maybe a lot of the different companies that are listening in today, but we are built on a homegrown system. So it's a little bit different as we get into ultimately talking about reviews, but we have an in-house developer team. Our platform is completely made by our in-house developers, and so there's obviously pros and cons with that. The pros are, or most importantly, that we're very lean, we're very flexible, we're able to do a lot of different innovations. It's not something that, you know, if you have a Magento site or WordPress or whatever sort of e-commerce platform you're utilizing, often you have to determine if your technology and the technologies that you're going to build into your site, if they're going to work with your platform. But at BookBite, because everything's in-house, everything's homegrown, we're able to develop that and move very quickly in terms of our technologies. We're going to move to our first poll question of the day to get a little bit more insight into how everyone's utilizing reviews currently. So the question stands, how do you collect reviews from your customers? If you could select one of the following answers, they would be, we use a third-party review platform. We have a home-built solution for collecting reviews. We have an on-site comment box, other, or potentially you're not currently collecting reviews. Go ahead and take a moment, answer that. Just a few more minutes. All right, let's go ahead and close the poll. Interesting. So it looks like 36% of people currently use a third-party review platform. 27% have an on-site comment box, and 20% currently don't collect reviews. So it sounds like a lot of opportunity out there for the people that currently aren't collecting reviews, and potentially some further insight for those that are using either a home-built solution, third-party, or an on-site comment box. So great. Thank you for answering that. So ultimately at BookBite, one of the marketing channels that I spoke to that we really use to help drive our overall traffic and branding is our paid search marketing. That's one of the initiatives that I'm personally in charge of. And with Google making so many different updates, they're making another update to making things much more mobile friendly, and how that's affecting your search engine rankings. We know ultimately through paid search being aside from affiliates being our #1 source of actual driving traffic and revenue, is that you can really build in a lot of valuable trust into those paid search ads. So the example that we have up top, it's an example of one of our branded terms, and it's simply a branded question, and lists right there, you can see underneath the rating for bookbite.com. And this is an integration. If you're not aware of it, you can go through utilizing one of the extensions on the back end of AdWords to have your reviews popped in. But that simply helps build trust. And that's something that, you know, as a shopper and as a marketer at the same point, I don't do any shopping without physically looking at reviews anymore. And so we've actually seen, and this is proven, AdWords has shown this too, that you're going to see roughly a 17% increase in click-through rate if you're going to have your Google seller ratings there in the ad. And so we try and utilize on as many ads as we possibly can, because fortunately enough, we've got a lot of good reviews. We're an average 4.4 seller rating, and so we really try and populate that in all of our paid search ads. And we've certainly shown whenever that pops up into our paid search advertisement that people are more likely to click, and then assuming that we've got a great price and a great experience, that they're going to be able to convert on the other end. When they finally get to the site, and they've already seen that we're a great company by way of our Google seller reviews, Then we hit them up on our site with our on-site integration. And this is where we personally utilize Trustpilot. We actually used a different company in the past, and we just felt like with their integration, with how quickly they are and nimble as far as updates goes, that ultimately they put us in control of our reviews instead of having to utilize another third-party software or some sort of algorithm. It's very dynamic, and the setup of it is very dynamic as well. So this is actually, we custom built this utilizing CSS in order to put this. You'll see if you go to a bunch of our category pages, or we even have on our home page, and we're actually in the process of utilizing one of their beta platforms to have individual product reviews, because as a textbook company, that additional content that you can get is just invaluable. And so having the opportunity in order to put content on each individual book in order to help us with our search engine rankings, and then when you physically are going through the rankings and the search results, you're going to be able to see that seller rating. So it really is a nice dynamic by pairing those two up. So this is just an example, and these are reviews that are freshly pulled. They show up according to your own personal algorithm that you get to design, and you're able to set the query as to what specific reviews you want to show up. Potentially, you're going to only show 5- and 4-star reviews. Maybe there's a certain content that you want to pull out from it. So for a specific page, you want to have specific content that shows from there. It's really a dynamic tool that's going to allow you to do a lot of things with it. So we've actually, in terms of our physical results, year over year from our transition over the Trustpilot, we've seen a 7.6% year-over-year increase in our conversion versus the pages that we didn't have with the review integration. And again, that's not talking about to click through and going on and continue through the funnel. That's physical conversions that we're overall seeing. So that's directly leading to the bottom line and increasing revenue and overall our business trust and our brand value as well. So here's a great example, and the power ultimately that we found through utilizing Trustpilot is it happens. Customers have a bad experience, and ultimately whenever people contact our customer service team, it's typically not to tell us how great we're doing. It's typically they're either lost their order, or they want to know when they're going to be paid back for their book, or where's their shipment, or did you receive the book that I shipped back? And often people are going more and more out to social media. They're going to review sites. I know I'm a huge proponent personally of utilizing Yelp, and you just want to be an informed consumer. And so with everything being based on reviews today, having customers that in a flash can put up a 2-star review like this and say, we will never rent from you again, you've got to be able to have the systems in place that you can respond. And we've actually made a transition going away from the phones. We found that bringing that in-house and utilizing chat has enabled us to be more nimble in terms of our customer service response. And so we're actually able to utilize, Trustpilot has an API that you can utilize in order to, in real time, help you flag specific reviews and then ping those to your customer service reps so they can respond to them. So a great example, it doesn't actually have the timeline on there, but I believe our average response time with customer service in these cases is about 10 to 15 minutes. So here's a customer that was disappointed with the rental process, and our customer service rep was pinged on the other side saying, hey, here's a customer, they left us a 2-star review, here's an opportunity to respond. And so because of our customer service team being able to respond, we're actually, instead of having a customer that's going to go not only and post this on our website, they're then going to go to Facebook, they're going to go to Twitter, they're going to utilize whatever social medium that they desire in order to basically talk about this poor experience. And then there's the offline, the word of mouth traffic that ultimately generates. And especially with the people that we're targeting being college-age students, they love to brag. And I don't know about some of the other businesses out there, but the best and most valuable customer that we can find is somebody that utilizes word-of-mouth marketing. And so being able to respond in real time like this has just been a huge boost to our customer satisfaction and being able to respond quickly to them and ultimately have them satisfied. So this is a great example of with that technology being able to respond quickly to them and potentially save a customer who was having a poor experience or was going to go blast us in any sort of social or network that they have, that now instead, oh, okay, BookBite got back to me, and now they're more likely to utilize us again. And then on top of having the things on site, utilizing it through your paid search advertisement, there's also several different integrations. Here's a great example of what we currently utilize on our Facebook page. So this is an integration with Trustpilot. So we're actually able to feature the reviews that people come through our website, feature on Trustpilot, and then as an added tab on our Facebook page, that content is able to be boosted out to them. And then aside from simply sharing the reviews, people that are on our Facebook page can leave a review as well. So this is a great added benefit that it's not only content that's coming through our site and then our customers are leaving there, it's then propagated across another channel. So we're able to utilize that, and then people are able to respond that way, because even though Facebook and Twitter and ultimately our customer service line are all channels that people utilize, there's a different social media medium that might work better for you or work best for your clients. And so ultimately being able to integrate that with whatever system or whatever channel, it gives you, again, the power. It puts you in control, ultimately, of your reviews. So in conclusion, for reviews and what our experience overall that we've had with Trustpilot is we found that reviews are king, especially in our business with it being such a saturated market. You've got players such as Amazon that have such a brand trust built into them. The only way that you're going to be able to compete is based on those reviews and based on that positive customer service. The acquisition rate by having those reviews and by having that custom content, as we said, for us, our experience was is we saw a 7% increase of overall conversion rates, and you're going to see much more interaction as well. We've seen boosted across all of our paid search mediums. I know this wasn't in the slide, but we've seen a boost of up to 10% click-through rates across the board with having those reviews and those seller ratings in there as a boost to our paid search rankings. And then ultimately, your customer service is able to respond in a much more quicker, much more timely manner by having those API capabilities and having everything integrated, so that when you do have a customer that is, had an unsatisfactory performance with you, then ultimately you can get back to them in a timely manner. And then you're able to, everybody likes to brag. Everybody likes to brag about having a great experience, and so enabling people, making it very seamless, very easy. We have it integrated as part of our email marketing strategy that upon buying a product through us, they're going to get pinged in order to leave a review for us, come back to our site, leave that. So now we're utilizing those happy customers. We're pushing them out, and then we're displaying that not only on our site, we're utilizing that through our paid search medium, but we're also utilizing that across social media. So you can leverage them as much as you want, as much as you can get them. So now I'm going to pass it off to Jonathan with Trustpilot, and he's going to go over a little bit more about Trustpilot.
Cool. Hey, thanks everybody. My name's Jonathan Hines. I'm Product Marketing Director at Trustpilot. Before I get started, I just want to give a big thanks to Jesse. I love to see really innovative business models like BookBite. You guys are fantastic to work with, and you're fantastic to your customers, and it clearly shows in how you care about what you do and how you work with your customers on a daily basis. So it's an honor to work with you, and thank you for taking the time of the call today. Trustpilot, we've been in business for about 7 years now, and really what we do is we create relationships through reviews. It's giving businesses the ability to ask their customers about how they're doing on a product basis and also on an overall business basis, and then giving those customers the ability to respond. And to me, that's the start of a relationship where you foster that relationship and drive it through to a mutually beneficial spot where everybody's happy. Jesse mentioned that sometimes some people aren't happy, but that's what a platform like Trustpilot provides, is the ability to understand who those customers are and then address those situations. So I'm going to talk to you guys about how we can provide some benefits back to you on this today. But at just a high level, to go into a little bit more detail, we pride ourselves on being the global standard for online trust. And to me, that's what reviews are. They are a sign, a symbol of trust in the customers that you've serviced and trust for the customers that you expect to have. We provide channel feedback to improve business operations through reviews and help your business drive higher conversions, higher acquisition rates, improving the overall retention journey for your customers and creating a way so that they can spread word of mouth advertising to their peers. We really have two sides to our business. And when I say that we are really focused on trust and transparency, this is a lot of that proof. So you can go to trustpilot.com today and leave a review for a business that you've done business with, that you've purchased something from. And they have the ability to review that and respond to it or promote it as they see fit. But it's an open site, so I can go there and to trustpilot.com and look up BookBite and see all the reviews and see how their customer service teams have done a great job in responding to any negative reviews or addressing anybody that's got some really positive reviews. And then the other side is the software as a service, the solutions that we sell to businesses to have that relationship, to show those reviews, to feed those reviews to Google and Bing and Yahoo, and then to analyze those reviews and then repurpose them for marketing collateral or even, as Jesse pointed out and illustrated, the BookBite does, for use with their customer service agents. Oh, question. Okay. So how do you or how would you use customer reviews to enhance your business? So first response is to get Google seller ratings for my business, and those are those gold stars that Jesse was referring to a little bit earlier. Use to enhance my customer service. Analyze the customer reviews to drive business change, so understanding what your customers are saying and trying to address those challenges that they may be having. Use them to foster a relationship with our customers. I was talking about that a little bit earlier, about having a relationship with your customers through their comments, their reviews, or not sure, not applicable. So I give you guys a couple of seconds to pick one of those 5 options. Okay. Okay, I think we're probably good here. So we just show the results. Okay. How would you use customer reviews to enhance your business? 39% analyzed the customer reviews to drive business change. That's fantastic. I'm really happy to see that this is the primary interest of this crowd in the audience today. I'm a personal believer that understanding or utilizing reviews to understand what your customers are trying to tell you and drive significant change within your business, whether it's improvements or showcasing the things that really make you great, are a great tool for reviews and context reviews. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in some later slides, but to me It's about using those reviews as like a micro interview to analyze that data and then understand what exactly is going on in your business. It's a good temperature gauge by far. Cool. So let's move on to the next slide. So I always like to show this, and I know it's a little bit hard to read. Over the far left is consumers' trust in advertising through search engine results. And then over to the far right are reviews and reviews left by others. So you can see there's a significant delta in trust. People are looking for a relationship or feedback from others that they know or feedback from others that they trust. And in all honesty, that's nothing new to anybody, right? So everybody has had the experience where they go to a new town and they ask friends that live there for recommendations of where to go, and of course they're going to try that place. And it's because it's somebody they know, it's somebody that they trust, it's somebody that they can rely on, and it's not, you know, some forced advertisement or ad placement trying to convince them otherwise. What I find most interesting about this slide, however, is that the delta between those search engine ads and reviews. I'm not saying that you should go ditch your AdWords accounts today. Clearly, that's a great means of discovery and important for many businesses, including ours. But it is a good illustration of why the 20% of you on the call that answered that you weren't collecting reviews today should collect reviews and use it as part of your marketing engine. So why Trustpilot? I mentioned before we've been in business for 7 years. We operate in over 24 countries. We have been doing this for quite some time, and we've collected a lot of intelligence, a lot of experience, a lot of support on how to make this successful. Because there's multiple facets to it, and you can simply collect some reviews and never display them, or you can collect them and display reviews, and that'll provide you some benefits, and we can help feed those into various search engines to increase your discovery. But analyzing those reviews and utilizing them for better business purposes is the rest of that battle, and it really drives that next level of business engagement. So the Trustpilot solution, I really see this as 4 pillars to support your overall journey. I'll actually go into these a little bit later in the next slide, so I'm going to skip through this real quick in the interest of time. But oh, question. So in your business, managing customer reviews is the responsibility of which team? So for the 39% that said that they're using them for analyzing, and the various others, is it your marketing organization that's working on reviews and responsible for collecting them and responding to them? Is it your customer service team? Is it the responsibility of your brand management organization? Is it your SEO, SEM team, or is it some other team that's not identified on here? So give you a couple seconds here to click the response. Okay, I think that's probably enough time to see the answers. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, to see that marketing was 41% is usually pretty typical, and customer service. In some larger businesses, brands management is responsible for review collection and then moderation. Customer service, just simply because we're used to NPS or customer satisfaction surveys, and so typically the customer service team will get it. Marketing in terms of its use, which is interesting, and we'll talk a little bit about how you can use those reviews to drive business change and growth and achieve results like Jesse at BookBite. Cool. So let's move on with the slide here. Yeah. So the first pillar that we believe is important, and some of the questions you're probably asking is, or the issues that you're probably having, is that you're not being found online. So first step is to utilize some of the various tools that we have to ask customers for reviews, whether it's an email that we support or a pop-up or other methods that suit your business, and utilizing those to redisplay on your website or we feed to Google, Yahoo, and Bing. And as Jesse had mentioned, that's what drives his conversion rates from search. And Google quotes that will, those gold stars, the Google star ratings increases, can increase your click-through rate by about 17%. And it's automatic when you work with a company like Trustpilot. You have to collect some reviews, and then once you collect the reviews, we feed that information to Google, and boom, it's activated with your AdWords campaign. And this is the first step, obviously. You want to better understand what your customers are saying about you. You want to have a better gauge and feel for what people think of your brand, your products, and your services. In terms of driving acquisition, and I know a lot of you are here for that specifically, which is great. Again, first step is collecting those reviews, and then we'll feed those to Google or Yahoo or Bing and get those Google star ratings or get the Bing merchant ratings, which will increase your click-through rates. But it doesn't just stop there. So Jesse showed a great example of widgets displayed on their homepage that shows all the awesome reviews that BookBytes received. And that refreshes on a pretty regular basis. So Trustpilot has those widgets, and we find that first and foremost is to place one of those widgets on your homepage, either above the fold, below the fold, to show other customers that get to that homepage that you're a trusted source, and that you can show and provide customers with a great experience. But then what we can do is Trustpilot can help you identify drop-off points in your website, and as we do, place those reviews in those key points to enhance that customer journey and make sure that you're reducing overall dropout. And then finally, as you get to that checkout cart, you can place reviews to show other customers that they should feel confident in purchasing the product or service that they're buying from you today. And we've seen results all the way up to 58% increase in shopping cart conversions simply from placing those reviews directly on that checkout page. So there's really a lot that can be done here, and it's important that, again, you take that first step in driving through collecting reviews, but also realizing the benefits associated with that review collection. A lot of you had indicated that you use reviews for analysis, and some great examples are identifying what those business pains are. You've got 50 customers telling you in your reviews that your customer service team is amazing and they're super happy with their experience. Then you might want to consider promoting your customer service team as a primary value of your business. Or if the reverse is true, if they're saying that your customer service is not the greatest and it could use some improvement, then improve it. And make sure that the next time that customer comes back to you that you've indicated that you've resolved that issue for them. The reviews provide you a good way to extract that data and look at the pros and the cons of your business from your customer's eyes, and then address those business challenges. And it's really about rescuing those disengaged customers and utilizing their feedback to better their experience. But also, it's about making sure they understand. So when a customer leaves you a negative review, it's a tough situation, obviously. Nobody wants a negative review, but it happens, and it will always happen. It's what you do with that negative review that makes the significant difference. And this is what builds retention, right? It's turning that bad experience into a positive one. It's responding back to that customer quickly within 24 hours, personally addressing their issue, and making sure that there's follow-up associated with it. Those are the types of things that build retention. Those are the types of things that build voice of the customer marketing and brand advocacy, right? So Trustpilot gives you instant notifications of when you get those reviews, either positive or negative, so that you can showcase them if they're positive or address them quickly if they're negative. The reality is, if you go to a business, and I think Jesse said it best, I haven't shopped without the use of reviews and who knows how long, but I can't even think of an example of when I didn't use a review to buy a product or a service. You expect to see some negative reviews. And in fact, if you don't see negative reviews, the likelihood that some of the reviews are fake is probably high. So those negative reviews give you a sense of authenticity. For the 20% of people that stated, or sorry, the 27% that stated that they collect reviews themselves, I think that's a great first start. It's important, obviously, to take that first step in collecting reviews. However, what Trustpilot provides is a third party, an intermediary, if you will, to support some authenticity to reviews themselves. The question that the consumer asks you when they see that they're your reviews or from your website and not from a third party is, are those reviews true? And that's our entire business model is trust. And so, of course, we do everything possible to make sure that those reviews are absolutely transparent as well as real. I spoke a little bit about advocacy before, but just to hit it home, the way I think about advocacy is very simple. You are trying to create referrals. And Jesse said it best, everybody likes to brag. And utilizing that or giving them the platform to brag is what reviews are about. Right? So not only asking them how your business is doing or how your product is doing, but showcasing that on your social networks or allowing them to showcase that on their social networks is how you create brand advocacy, by treating those customers well. Because really what it boils down to is that brand advocates are there to do two things. Either they're there to show others what a great experience they had at your business and influence other purchasers, or they're there to tell everybody what negative experience that they had to warn people of it. And again, addressing that negative review in those instances is critical, but brand advocates are what you're trying to build, because in all honesty, they're the best marketing dollars that you can spend, are the ones that you really don't have to spend because they're spending it for you. I'm sure you've seen a bunch of these, and again, thanks to Jesse for attending today. We work with a variety of different companies in size, all the way from some smaller players, some great husband and wife businesses, to some relatively large Fortune 500 companies. It's important to us. Our solution has all different levels. We have very simple solutions that help you get started, and then we have very complex solutions that we can work with you to implement on a custom basis in the systems that you already have today. And Jesse mentioned, some of our custom APIs that we utilize with them to feed reviews of their customers directly to their customer service team. In general, this is what we see, is an 18% average sales uplift because of reviews. And Jesse shared some great numbers with you before, and if you go to business.trustpilot.com, you can see a whole bunch of case studies where other customers have experienced some pretty good results. But in the end, putting aside the financial benefit, the question you have to ask yourself is, would you shop at your own business if it didn't have reviews? Again, I don't remember a shopping experience that I've had, or for most people that have had, where reviews weren't part of that purchasing process. So if you're not collecting reviews today, give us a quick call. We'll help you sort it out pretty quickly. If you are using reviews today and you're collecting those through an in-house method, that's great. You're taking the first steps, but we can help you drive your acquisition rates by feeding that information to all the various search engines and optimizing where you place that across your website so that it will increase your cart conversions and general acquisition rates. So I think we got some questions and answers.
Yes. Thanks, Jesse and Jonathan. Appreciate that. Very informative. And now we're going to open it up for questions. As a reminder, you can ask questions now or at any time throughout the rest of the webinar by using the text box on your screen. And we'll start with a question for Jesse. It sounds like BookBite has a preference for building its own technology. Why did you go with a third-party solution for your reviews?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's definitely a question that we posed to ourselves. And ultimately what we decided in going with Trustpilot is, we're not a review expert. It's a software and a platform that in order for us ultimately to build in-house, we'd have to become a review expert. And so for us, when we're evaluating it, and I think it's for any business that ultimately does a lot of things in-house, is you have to evaluate, the amount of development dollars and the amount of time it's ultimately going to take you in order to build it in-house versus utilizing a third-party vendor like Trustpilot. And, they're very economical. They're constantly doing updates. That's the other thing, with having your own in-house developer team is, sure, we're going to take all that time and that effort in order to learn and figure out how to do an in-house review system, but then we have to constantly be changing. And so that's the great thing, about utilizing a third-party software like Trustpilot is, the innovations, even in the time that we've been with them. They're building in the API. Everything's, much more funneled with Google shopping campaigns. That's definitely not something that, our expertise lies more in, being able to dynamically price our systems, being able to provide great customer service, and manage our inventory. It's not on the review network. And so ultimately, I think, for us and Trustpilot specifically, it just made sense to go with somebody like Jonathan talked about that knows what they're doing. They played in the space. They're very nimble. They're able to constantly come out with different product innovations. And so that gives us the trust, and it's not something that we could build out ourselves in a short, timely manner.
Okay, thank you. We have another question here. This one should be, I believe, for Jonathan. How does Trustpilot handle fake reviews and make sure that the reviews are genuine?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's been plenty of articles posted over the past couple of years about companies generating fake reviews or fake reviews being bots. The largest team in Trustpilot is our quality and compliance team. We have an entire organization dedicated to just trust and transparency, and because it's critical to us, it's the most important thing that we can do, and the most important thing that we do on a daily basis. Not only in how we talk or how we speak or what we market, but also what we provide to our customers. So first and foremost, we require authentication for our reviews. Customers are required to have email addresses, an order ID, a name to request reviews. Once that review is written by a consumer, it's sent over to us, and we automatically check it for a foul language and any spam, as well as any suspect IP addresses or review context. Once that passes our tests, which is pretty quickly, that review is posted up online. At that point in time, anybody can flag it for concern, either if it's against our guidelines or if they believe it's fake. We'll take it offline immediately, review it personally, and assess it. If it's fake, we obviously delete it and address that with users. And if it's not, then it stays up. Because again, it's important to us that we ensure that customers' voice are heard and that you don't hide reviews. You utilize them to your benefit. You foster those relationships.
Okay. We have another one here for Jonathan. This webinar attendee is concerned about negative reviews and is asking how you would suggest dealing with them.
Yeah, and like you said a bit earlier, Jesse and I both mentioned, you're going to get negative reviews. Everybody has a bad day and takes it out on somebody. And I know those that have worked in customer service or the service industry in general have painfully experienced that personally. But the key thing is being aware that you have a negative review. The great thing about using a review platform like Trustpilot is that you are going to get negative reviews. The question is, are you going to know that you've gotten that negative review? So has the customer gone to their Facebook account and blasted you on your Facebook account? Trustpilot provides instant notification of when a customer leaves you a negative review on trustpilot.com. And first things first is you need to respond quickly. Within 24 hours is our extremely high suggested timeline to do that. And it's not just a thanks, we got your negative review, we'll get back to you. It is a sincere and appropriate comment to address the pain that the customer has gone through or their concern. I would strongly encourage you to validate their response, thank you, or thank them for the time that it took to actually submit a review, and seriously investigate the concern that they have and publicly respond back to it. If the customer's in the wrong, then politely indicate that your records indicate otherwise, and please feel free to give us a call or reach out to us personally to address any further issues. There's a couple different examples of companies that we work with, like B&H Photo, that they're an online retailer of electronic goods from low end to really, really, really high end. And they've established precedents where, depending on the review that gets left, if it's a 2-star, the customer service team will immediately respond to it. If it's a 1-star, the president and the CEO get involved. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is to review the number of negative reviews that you're getting on a regular basis and try to understand the context associated with them. So yeah, respond to them and make sure that customer is happy. You'll create brand advocates from it, but then try and stop it from happening the next time around. If you're getting negative reviews because your shipping is bad, then maybe you don't have the right shipping provider, or you're getting negative reviews because your materials, your packaging materials aren't sufficient and they're not holding up, then maybe you need to spend a little extra cash or find a new vendor for your materials. So analyzing that review and creating a better experience for the next customer is also critical to addressing negative reviews.
Okay. We have another question here from Andy. He says, do you typically email customers asking for reviews? And if so, how long do you wait before you email a customer asking for a review? And are they able to easily add their review through the email?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question. And in part, it depends on what kind of industry you are and what you sell. So there's really 2 types of reviews that Trustpilot offers today. It's a product review and a review about your overall experience, or what we call seller reviews and what Google calls seller reviews. For a product review, I'll answer that one pretty quickly. It's generally pretty easy. You want a product review after somebody has experienced the product. So you would typically wait a handful of days after shipping has been received before you submit a product review. Seller reviews or experience reviews that are a bit different. So you can typically send that request almost immediately after the customer has purchased something from you, because it's about the experience that they received through you, not so much the individual product itself. We have a variety of collection ways, methodologies. We have automated emails that go out. We have integrations with WooCommerce or Magento, so that anytime somebody purchases from your shop, we'll automatically send out an email to that customer asking to leave the review. You can tweak that email. We have conversion specialists that will help you write those emails out and optimize it through A/B split testing as to what email works best to get the highest conversion rate and the happiest customers and the best sample of customers. And we also have an API where you can integrate with your existing customer collateral or CRM materials. So you've already got some post-purchase outreach, like a thank you email that you typically already send. We can easily embed specific information into that email with you so that they just have to click on an image or a link to pop up a review and for them to easily leave one. Last but not least, we have a simple pop-up that will pop up right after you hit purchase or buy, and they're checkout or shopping experience. Each of them have great benefits, but specific to how your business works and whether it's a longer experience or a short experience. And we have a great onboarding team that's responsible for ensuring their success that can help walk you through what the best solution is for you depending on your business needs.
Okay. That kind of dovetails into this next question as far as how your business works. This question is from Anthony. He says, do you find online reviews helpful for all industries? I work in manufacturing, and I'm trying to determine if this is the route we want to take.
Yes, that's a great question, Anthony. I recently did an interview last week with a PR team about utilizing reviews in a solution like manufacturing. And I don't have this study offhand, but the one that I quoted is that 60% of the purchasing journey by people looking for business solutions is done before they ever talk to the business. So your typical purchasing journey events like a trigger, the aha moment that I need this product, then the shortlisting activity, the stakeholdership, some of the online review that you do and research, and then you finally reach out to a few select customers or select potential vendors. All that's done without the first phone call interaction. And if that's the case, then yeah, of course they're going to want to see reviews. The other thing that I like to discuss is simply we are all consumers, and we've always been consumers for much longer than we've ever been part of a business. And so our typical buying behavior and habits are transferred over to our business experience. And so we expect to see reviews or hear reviews from people that have used that service as well. And I'm sure you've been in that solution or situation plenty of times where you're looking to purchase a new piece of equipment from a vendor and you want to know how it works before you pay them. So you ask others that have used that product or service to get a little bit more insight. So absolutely, I think we're a bit in the tip of the iceberg and how many customers are using reviews for B2B purchases, but we've got plenty of use cases and examples and other customers that do use reviews when they sell to businesses because they know it's just as powerful.
Okay, thanks. And this next question is from Oscar. And he asks, how do you think customers perceive a site without review capabilities versus a site that has a capability for reviews but has no reviews?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. In a world where you can buy just about anything from anybody, what makes you purchase from one guy versus the other? And to me, yeah, there's price and there's how quickly I can get it, but there's also how they treat the other customers. So why would you buy from somebody that doesn't have any reviews? Or why would you buy a product, as an example, that doesn't have any reviews? I was recently purchasing a dog bed for my 13-year-old pup, and looking at all the different types of dog beds that I found through Google Shopping, I noticed there was one with 1,000 reviews and one with 3, and they're about the same, little different, not the same product, but about the same. Why would I purchase the one with 3? I mean, it just makes no sense. Why would I purchase the one with 0? Nobody's experienced it. Unless I knew I wanted that exactly, I would go with the reviews. So I think people expect to see authentic reviews, and we personally believe, and I personally believe, that businesses have the responsibility to show authentic and transparent reviews to their consumers to help them make those decisions. It's not that hard to get started. We have what we call Kickstart, which is we grab the last month of your customers and we send them a quick email and say, hey, thanks for your purchase. Please leave us a review. And we typically get a great response rate from that. So there doesn't have to be a situation where you have site capability to have reviews, but there aren't any reviews on it. We'll work with you to make sure that you do have those reviews when you want to post them live on your website.
Okay. This next question is for Jesse. And it's, as a consumer, I've found that the ways reviews are requested can come across as irritating. Any tips for doing this effectively? I'm sure both of you can probably weigh in on this.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and definitely something that we have tested, and definitely something that I would recommend is testing it. We've found on a personal level that our customers tend to respond best through emails. That seems to be the main form. You know, being an e-commerce-based business, they tend to do most of their interactions online, and therefore most of our communication with them, unless they're communicating with our customer service rep, is going to be through email. And so it just seems sort of seamless. It comes through on one of our follow-up confirmation pages about reviewing us as a seller. As Jonathan was mentioning, the product review is something that we're currently in the implementation stage of doing. But we've personally found through testing it, I mean, you could do the pop-up. It's got to be something that ultimately your customer base is going to identify with. So we've found through testing that was the least invasive way of doing things.
Great. This is another question actually for Jesse. Have you ever made a change to your business based on a review?
Actually, we have. Ironically, we came through when we ultimately wound up making the decision to get rid of our call service and our hotline number, and customers can still technically call in. It's just we basically took our phone number off our website. There was a very controversial thing with a lot of our customers, which ultimately led to us creating our help pages. And we found that through the creation of our help pages on our website, it had a direct correlation to the overall number of contacts that our customer service was making. I believe it was something like it decreased by 50%, and that was directly coming through reviews of people basically stating that they didn't like the change of not being able to call us, call our customer service team. How are we supposed to get in contact with them? I've got a lot of different questions, and so by leading people ultimately in order to do it themselves and find on our website through the Help Center, that was a direct correlation that we saw to a reduction in those complaints and those negative reviews in regards to getting rid of our phone service.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, that's just about all the time we have. Thank you for everyone for dialing in and participating. In the next day or two, you'll all get an email with instructions on how to get today's presentation. And thanks again to Jesse and Jonathan.